All right, thank you for the introduction. Great to be back here at Big Ten Media Days representing USC. It's been a tremendous offseason, and this day certainly always brings, I think, a lot of momentum and excitement in terms of fall camp and everything that's right on the horizon. When I think about our football program, right now going into this fifth year, going into this season, I think about, our alignment and the momentum behind our program. Kind of watching us through the last few years take on some of the different challenges and changes that we've had, a new coaching staff, a new president, a new AD, a new conference, most recently moving into the Bloom football facility about 10 days ago. We've had so much change, and right now I feel like our alignment is as strong as it's ever been, and I think that's why some of the results throughout the offseason have kind of shown themselves in terms of the way that we've recruited, bringing in the top recruiting class in the country, the way that we've been able to retain and also add to our coaching staff, especially bringing in noted coordinators, Gary Patterson on defense and Mike Eckler on special teams. Very proud and excited of the roster that we've built. I know our recruiting class has certainly gotten a lot of attention, but when you look at some of the returners that we have one of the most experienced groups in the country in terms of returning starters, returning a starting quarterback, both starting running backs, an offensive line and defensive line that I think have depth and talent unlike any of my first 4 years at USC. And so, I got a great vantage point in my years at Oklahoma of what, great alignment and what a steady leadership really looks like in a program. And I could sit here today and say, really for the first time at USC, I feel all of those things operating at a high level and are very, very steady right now. And with that, the momentum has been created, and it's been fun to see our program grow in all the areas that you need to be a championship level program. And so certainly excited about the season, excited to get back in the Coliseum for a great home slate. I think one of the big keys for us early on has been reestablishing our dominance in the Coliseum, reestablishing the Coliseum as a really tough place for our opponents to come in and play. And obviously we did a tremendous job going 7-0 last year in our home slate, and that will be important again with a great set of games in the Coliseum. And then, the way our conference is structured now, we're looking forward to the opportunity to go through some of these different venues across the Big Ten to play in some of these different games against great competition. And we certainly have an exciting schedule ahead, and one that our team is very much look forward to attacking. So cannot wait for the season, can't wait to get started. And with that, we'll take you guys' questions.
Coach, on the far right side on the platform.
Yeah, Coach, Jake Bartecki, News Channel Nebraska. You mentioned bringing in Coach Eckler. What can you say about the energy, the passion, the fun? I mean, there's a million words to describe what he could bring, but just talk a little bit about what he's brought to the program.
Yeah, Coach Eckler was a great addition. He's somebody whose career I followed. We've worked either with or for several of the same people, so I felt like I knew him pretty well. And he's got a special teams track record, that is up there in terms of any other coordinator in the country. And yeah, his energy, his attention to detail, I think his emphasis on the fundamentals and how he teaches that is very unique. And it was just something that fit for our program. It fit from our special teams, it fit from him also being involved certainly in coaching our linebackers. And I think it was a huge addition for us. I mean, the special teams are certainly obviously a huge part of any championship team. And with the roster we've built, we feel like we have a chance to be very, very good there across the board. And a guy like that, I think, makes you better the day that he walked in the door. And we've certainly felt that energy, that excitement, and his expertise up to this point.
Coach, first row right here on your left side.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Good to see you. AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Coach, why did you choose to bring these three players, and would you make a few comments about each?
Sure, yeah. Obviously brought Jaden Maeva, our starting quarterback. He's certainly established himself as a leader on our football team, as one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Of all the guys that I've been fortunate enough to coach, I don't know that I've had any that have improved from day one, to this point as much as Jaden has. And it's been fun to see him grow as a player. It's been fun to see him grow as a leader and really, I think, start to embrace what it means to be the starting quarterback at USC. And I think a guy that's just going to get better and better in his prime to play his best football. Jade Abasiri, a guy that we recruited from Minnesota that came in a few years ago, was a developmental player that has worked his tail off to become one of the best defensive linemen in our league. A very, very versatile player. He's a guy that does everything right in our program. He's always on time. He never misses anything. He has just stayed steady throughout his entire career. And I think he's a great example to a lot of guys out there that maybe you don't have that dream season right away in the beginning, but you just stay with it and stay steady. And that's what he's done. And that's why he's here representing us today. And then Alex Van Sumeren, a transfer that came in, was one of the guys that we identified once he jumped in the portal in terms of not only his experience, but his play style and his leadership capability. And we felt like defensively, and specifically in our defensive line room, we have a lot of talent in that room. We have more talent and more depth than at any point in my time at SC. And I think having a leader in there, having a bell cow that has experience and has a type of mentality that Alex does was very, very key. So honestly, it was kind of fun because we had a lot of really good choices in terms of guys to bring, but proud to have those three representing USC football today.
Coach, on your right side, second row.
Hi, Coach. Nick Stupkowski on SI. Just curious, you mentioned the schedule, future schedules, or the non-conference schedule. Anything changed with Notre Dame in the future? Any talks with that or anything?
I don't think anything more than to say. I would just reference my comments earlier in the winter. I think I gave everybody a pretty clear indication of how those have went, and nothing's changed from my vantage point. We want to play the game. I want to play the game. We would be playing the game. Had some things come true that were said, and so hopefully we get to that point. Obviously, we want it to happen. I know our fan base wants it to happen. College football wants it to happen, and hopefully I'm up here next year talking about that game here on the future schedule. So we'll keep making progress and let you know if we have any more updates.
Coach, on your left side here, second row.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Wanted to ask you, just with the level of expectations that are coming into this season, when you look at all of the recruits and everybody that you have coming back, how imperative is it for you not only to be successful and finish strong this season, but also get into the college football playoff and make a strong push in that area as well?
That's it's what it's supposed to feel like here. I've said this, multiple times. I mean, the only two places that I've been at a head coach at were blue blood schools that had the highest of expectations. So honestly, I've really known anything different. We're a product of our own experiences, and that's been mine. And so every year, I expect to win. I expect us to win. I expect us to compete for and win championships, and that doesn't change. I do, though, certainly will give you what has changed is I do believe we're more equipped than at any point in the previous few years. And I think that's not a hope or a wish. Those are facts, and there's a lot of facts to back that up. And it all stems from the first two things I said. The alignment and momentum within the program is real. It's palpable. We feel it. Our recruits feel it. Our team feels it. Our fan base feels it. I think a lot of people across the country feel it, whether they like us or not. And so that's how it should be at USC. And so, in some ways, these years all feel the same. But I think that's the one area I will give you that does feel different, and why there's certainly a lot of excitement and confidence around our program.
Coach, on your left side here, third row.
Hi there, Bob Ekayeri, Reddit RCFB. You've talked a lot about why you hired Coach Gary Patterson to be your defensive coordinator. I was curious how that's affected your offense and attuning to his defense day after day.
Yeah, it's tougher to move the ball in practice. Coach Patterson's one of one. I've told people I've had a chance, throughout my career in calling plays for a little while now, to call plays against a lot of the people that you would say, hey, these are maybe the greatest minds of this last era of college football, the greatest defensive minds. And I've never coached against somebody that I thought was more unique and tougher to go against than Gary Patterson. And you know, him doing it with different skill sets, and a lot of times, especially the OU versus TCU years that we competed against one another, you know, we had a lot better players, you know, than he did top to bottom. They certainly had good players. I don't want to disrespect anybody there, but the talent level was different. And he just consistently, year after year, adapts and coaches and develops in such a unique way. And you know, they don't put College Football Hall of Famer, you know, behind your name for nothing. And so, yeah, I think we're certainly feeling his impact defensively. I'm certainly feeling his impact of just having a fellow head coach in the building, right? Somebody else that has sat in this chair and had to make some of these decisions. And you know, you can't replace that type of expertise and experience, you know, that he brings to the table. So he's incredibly motivated. He wouldn't have done this without it. And I think he senses the opportunity to, even for a guy that's accomplished just about everything you can in this game, there's a few other things left out there, and he knows that he can do that here. And so it's been awesome working with him. I can't wait to get into the season with him and go, but he and our entire staff are, you know, I think bring a lot of advantages to our program.
Coach, first row on your right side.
Coach, good to see you.
You too, brother.
USC has a lot of returning starters coming back this season, Coach, and you couple that with some of the class that you had in the 2026 class and 25 class. Would you say this is the most complete team? And then the offensive line essentially is returning itself. Would you say this is the most complete team from the trenches inside out on both sides?
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to characterize our roster right now. I do think there's certainly the talent from top to bottom, the competitive depth. You know, I told somebody the other day, I felt like last year we got to the point where our offensive line, our top groups on offense and on our defensive line were able to compete at the top of this conference. And I think that was largely the case. You know, when we got to some of our down the line pieces there, as we had injuries and all that you deal with throughout the season, you know, you could see that we still had some depth issues that we needed to attack because we weren't quite as good when that happened. And I do feel differently this year in terms of the quality of players, returning starters, the freshmen, some of the transfers that we've added. I mean, there's just a ton of competition. We've got a lot of guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage that we feel like we can win with and that we can dominate with. We just do. And so I think that's certainly one of the biggest differences in this football team right now.
Coach Lincoln Riley, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.